I guess.
Okay, so Gabe wants 31 out of 7.8. This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so they tell us, explain in our own words what sine inverse of x, sine of x to the minus 1, and sine of x all to the minus 1 are, how they're different, and then evaluate at x is 0.5.
Okay.
Okay, so how are these different?
Well, first of all, A takes side lengths, turns them into angles. B is just...
Hang on. So A takes a ratio of side lengths, right? And outputs an angle?
Yeah.
Good. Cool. So that's the inverse sine function, right? Okay. How about this thing?
That is just when the x is 1 over itself.
Yeah. So on this one, right, we should take sine applied to 1 over x, right? And
That's
this guy?
Cosecant.
Good. Cool. This is 1 over sine of x, which is cosecant of x. Cool. Okay, so some of these are going to be pretty doable, I think. Did they tell me whether I'm operating in radians or degrees?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Would be,
No, it just says 0.5.
Okay,
Isn't
so
that
they say x is 0.5. Okay, well, let me do the first one anyway. So what's sine inverse of 1/2?
That's at a side length of 1/2, which I think would be 30.
Yeah, so there's a triangle and the which over the what is?
pi over 6.
1 over 2? Sine is the which side?
Opposite over 2.
Opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite is 1, the hypotenuse is 2. That's a, yeah, that's in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and specifically that's the 30-degree angle. Okay, so if I'm operating in radians, this is pi over 6. If I'm operating in degrees, it's 30 degrees. Cool. So that one I can do. Check. Sine applied, oops, to 1 over x. So this would be sine of 1 over 1 over 2 is 2. And this is where it matters if x is in radians or degrees, right? You guys see that? I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is radians because you guys are basically done with pre-calculus, so you're going to be moving to calculus soon. And in calc, everything's got to be in radians. Okay, so if you're given a problem in degrees, you're going to have to push it to radians before you play with it at all. Cool? All right, so do I know a convenient way to get the sine of 2 radians? No. Cool. Check that. Best I can do. All right, and this is 1 over sine of 1/2. So I think the best I can do on this one is cosecant of 1/2. And the 1/2 is still, I'm going to assume, in radians.
Would we just be pi over 6 and then you can flip it?
It would just be pi over 6 and then you can flip it. So remember, this was doing sine inverse to 1 over 2. That's where I got the pi over 6. That would be a different problem, which they also could have asked, which would be D, which is sine inverse of x inverse. Right? So this first inverse is actually the arcsine function, right? And then this is flipping the thing over. So this guy would be pi over 6 to the minus 1 power, which would give you 6 over pi, which I would like to point out they should have asked you, and I don't know why they didn't. That help, Kip?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
So yeah, we have to keep in mind, right, that reciprocals and inverse functions get similar notation. You have to kind of figure out from where they put it, whether it's an inverse function or a reciprocal.
Could you do a problem